Hey guys, how's it going, dude? Here I'm back with another video. Today's video, I have been researching this for the last few days and I still don't know if I have my head fully wrapped around this conspiracy theory. This conspiracy theory has everything. Teleportation, time travel, parallel universes, parallel timelines. It has monsters, it has psyops. It inspired Stranger Things, right? And I thought, oh, that would be cool. I'll look at what inspired Stranger Things. It is the deepest, most complex conspiracy theory I've ever looked into, and it is called the Montauk Project. I'm going to try my best to articulate this for you guys, so bear with me. So as with a lot of great conspiracy theories, obviously it has to originate from a military base in the US, which of course this one does in Montauk in 1983. But we have to go back so much further before we actually kind of get to the main connection to Stranger Things for sure. We have to go back to the Philadelphia Project in 1943. Now, the Philadelphia Project in 1943 centers around the SS Eldridge, okay, which was a Navy fleet vessel. And what they wanted to do is they wanted to disguise this vessel so it could get around Nazi radar. So apparently using technology created by Nikola Tesla in 1943, they created essentially an invisibility cloak for this ship. Now, I am paraphrasing and I am simplifying this the best that I can, okay? Think of this video as like an idiot's guide, because the like bare bones facts are so convoluted and confusing. So I'm just going to do this my way, okay? So anyway, they've made an invisibility cloak for this ship, right? In 1943 in Philadelphia, okay? Now, for some reason, this invisibility cloak also rips a hole through time and space, okay? Creating a time vortex. Just stick with me because this gets so much weirder. And it teleported the SS Eldridge 200 miles away to Virginia. Okay? So that happened, and then it got teleported back. Now, there are claims that when it got teleported back, a lot of the seamen on board came back not the same way that they left. Some of them were merged with the ship. Some of them were returned inside out, and those that were lucky enough to come back in one piece were so psychologically disturbed by what had happened that they got released from the Navy. And it's safe to say, because of what happened, they shut the project down. Now, that is allegedly what Project Philadelphia was, right? So how does this link to 1983 in Montauk, which is, I believe, near New York? Well, there were two seamen aboard that vessel, and they hopped off the boat as it was travelling through time and space and landed in basically the Montauk Project, in Camp Hero, in the military area, where another conspiracy, another group of testing was going on. Now, this was 40 years in the future. Okay, this is where it gets weird. So apparently these two sailors were brothers, right? They were brothers, and they got sent back through time to 1943 to destroy the technology on the SS Eldridge to close this time vortex thing, which, by the way, has anchor points every 20 years, where it opened in 1943, in 1963, and in 1983. And just to pull it to Stranger Things for a second, I think this actually gives away the fact that they're going to do a time jump, and I think it's going to be 20 years, because when is the Upside Down stuck? It's stuck in 1983. Anyway, back to the Montauk Project / Project Philadelphia. So these two sailors have apparently been sent back in time because, of course, the US government have time machines and stuff, just bear with it, and destroyed Nikola Tesla's technology on this ship, which I thought was very interesting, by the way, that this alleged Nikola Tesla technology that was on the SS Eldridge in 1943 which sent them, elsewhere in time and space in November of 1943. Nikola Tesla was found dead in January of 1943. Of course, there are massive conspiracies that he was murdered because all of his patents were stolen, etc., etc. So, did he figure out how to teleport / through time and space, and the US government killed him for it, to steal that technology? Who knows? But that's just another conspiracy in itself. This is so convoluted, I hope you're still following. So, 2 sailors gone back in time, destroyed the technology, right? But military and that, they won't stop there, will they? So eventually, the Montauk Project comes to fruition anyway, regardless of their attempts to destroy this technology, I think. Guys, this is like the 4th take of me just still trying to wrap my head around this. So, these 2 sailors have gone back in time, okay? They've done the Nikola Tesla stuff. They've destroyed that. And basically, one of them had their memory wiped using MK Ultra. So, he grew up thinking he was a guy called Al Bielek, right? This Al Bielek guy goes on to see a film in 1984 called The Philadelphia Experiment, and he has he's like, I know this. I feel like I know this. I feel like I've lived this. He goes to therapy, and from the therapy discovers that he had a load of locked away memories, and it turns out that he was one of the sailors who went back in time. But not only that, he had his memory wiped twice, because when he went back in time and destroyed the technology, then had his memory wiped, and he was Al Bielek. And then as Al Bielek, he grew up to just so happen to join up with the Montauk Project again, after befriending a guy called Preston Nichols, and Preston Nichols went on to write a book, and I've got a clip of him trying to explain some of this stuff in just a second. But so this guy ends up being part of the Montauk Project anyway, as does his brother. Remember the brother that went back in time with him? Yeah, he ended up somehow being part of this too. And basically, because Al Bielek is really clever and stuff, him and this Nichols dude at the Montauk Project began creating some psychic kind of testing methods, right? And so they created something called the Montauk chair, which is basically a chair that amplifies people with psychic abilities. Now, this is where it really ties into Stranger Things, because basically this guy's brother turned out to be super psychic. Now, think of his brother as L from Stranger Things. Okay, so Preston Nichols and Al Bielek were testing Al Bielek's brother, right? Al Bielek and the brother being the sailors that went back in time. Do you understand how this has really melted my brain? So they're constantly testing and stuff, and then they start kidnapping missing or runaway children from the local town, and they start testing them. Now, there are reports that in order to get them to, be completely compliant, they would use torture methods and awful methods to break these boys, including some people have claimed that they would sodomize them. These were known as the Montauk Boys. A lot of men in that area have since come forward to claim that, this happened to me. But the main focus was on this brother who was able to apparently manifest images on a screen using his mind. And eventually it was amplified so far that he could manifest thoughts into the real world, but they would be almost like holograms, like you could put your hand through and stuff. They weren't actually tangible. They did an experiment called the seeing eye, where basically this brother would collect a lock of hair from anyone, and he could apparently literally visualize that person anywhere in the world. He could see through their eyes, no matter where they were on the planet, right? So this was apparently all going on. Plus he could manifest stuff. It all kept escalating and escalating, the kidnapping of the children, the treatment of the children, the treatment of this brother. And I'm just going to interject here whilst I was editing, so I missed a bit, which is crazy. So like I said, everything's escalating and stuff, yeah? When I say escalating, it wasn't just the treatment of the children and stuff. Apparently they'd made teleports to Mars. They made a time portal to the year 100,000 BC where there is apparently a government research facility. And they went to 6037, I think, AD. So they're going all over the place in time and space and different planets and stuff. This conspiracy's mental. It was just basically the researchers thought this is too much, right? This needs to end. So Nichols decided to try and sabotage the whole program. And this is a direct quote from him, okay? He said, "We finally decided we'd had enough of the whole experiment. The contingency program was activated by someone approaching Duncan, who was the brother who was psychic, while he was in the chair and simply whispering, 'The time is now.' At this moment, he let loose a monster from his subconscious, and the transmitter actually portrayed a hairy monster. It was big, hairy, hungry, and nasty, but it didn't appear underground in the null point. It showed up somewhere on the base. It would eat anything it could find, and it smashed everything in sight. Several different people saw it, but almost everyone described a different beast." So apparently, this Duncan, this, psychic brother, manifested a giant monster, like a demogorgon, in this base, and it wreaked havoc, killing people, smashing the base up, etc. Right? So apparently, in order to stop this, they began smashing up the equipment themselves to try and turn off the machine that was amplifying Duncan's abilities to manifest this monster. And once they smashed the right machinery to turn off the machine, apparently this monster disappeared, returning to allegedly its original dimension, or if you were to think about it, as the upside down in Stranger Things, right? So, but this conspiracy, as mental as it is the one that has inspired Stranger Things. It was even going to be called Montauk, apparently, originally, but it's now Stranger Things because of like legalities and stuff. They wanted to use the similar setting as well, but they got taken to court, so that's why it's in Indiana and things like that. But yeah, so there are a lot of parallels, obviously, and this Nichols guy is obviously Brenner. Now, let's have a look at this Nichols guy trying to explain, and I've watched this clip 3 or 4 times, right? And I still can't get my head around it. This guy explaining, like, living 2 lives simultaneously in the same timeline, but you are, but you're not.
In a parallel way, so that people can actually have parallel lifetimes going on.
Well, time is essentially like a real estate. In other words, as you and I can walk through real estate from point A to point B, all time coexists, and it's possible to go from point A to point B if you can find the path to go directly from. Some people believe it's taking the linear timeline, bending it over next to each other, and creating a wormhole or a punch through from time A to time B.
And so when you're existing you're at the same time, literally, like, you can fold it over and wow, here I am. What about creating alternate paths then? Are we doing that with our lives because of that ability for time to sort of warp or fold over on itself?
Some of us are doing multiple timelines. If we have the capability of going from, let's say, today to 2 weeks ago and working the whole 2 weeks over again, what will happen is the first pass will become an alternate reality, since you cannot have a time paradox.
So apparently after this event with the monster, they flooded the base, or the basement of the base, with cement, covering a lot of the machines that were used to create the ability to manifest things using your mind, and then used MK Ultra techniques to brainwash anyone involved so that they couldn't talk. Now, interestingly, still to this day, it is patrolled by security. You can't get in there even if you wanted to have a little look around, considering it's been shut down since 1984. Of course, the military dispute entirely that anything like that was going on, and it's just kind of become a local urban legend, although there have been interviews with, like I say, some of the men that come forward claiming to be these Montauk boys, and it's always really weird. Like, there's a Sun interview where they just try to get this guy to have an interview, and he works on like the Camp Hero, like the national park around this military base, and his boss keeps interrupting the interview because he doesn't want him to take the interview and even threatens his job. It's all just a bit weird. There was also in 2008 something washed up that has been called the Montauk Monster, or the Monster of Montauk, and I mean, it kind of looks like a demidog to me. What do you guys think? What do you think this is? Can you explain this? Because I know I can't. But let's just go over. So let's start with that one. Let's go over the what I think are the links to Stranger Things, okay, and what could possibly show the future of the show. There was one little tidbit that I had to do a little bit of digging to find, okay, and obviously, so with the Project Philadelphia, yeah, so they go from Philadelphia to Norfolk, Virginia. Henry Creel's mum's name is Virginia. Now, I don't think that that is an accident at all. I think that is a nod to Project Philadelphia. Now, does that also mean that it could be, you know, teleporting and stuff like that? Because also we have to think, you know, how are Russia getting into the Upside Down? If Russia, is that a teleportation? Are they literally teleporting from Russia to Hawkins? Or are they going to the Russian part of the Upside Down? We don't know, you know. But I just think that perhaps the Project Philadelphia thing could be a way that they tie Russia into this. Because I just think the fact that Henry's mum's Virginia is specific. Everything, every detail in a show like this is for a reason. Obviously, I've already said about, you know, 1983 being an anchor point, things like that. And so maybe they're going to go down the time travel thing. They have alluded to, you know, time travel and Back to the Future and things like that. So, you know, the fact it's anchored in 1983 ties into the origin. You know, the fact that the Philadelphia Project is so intrinsic to the Montauk Project, and the Montauk Project is why Stranger Things exists. There is also Elle and Duncan obviously manifesting a monster. Also the powers, you know, being able to see into someone's mind, being able to apparently like manifest things in someone's mind, which was a power that Duncan allegedly had, sounds like a power of Vecna. So that's another link there. Yeah, Brenner and Nichols. There's just, obviously you can see where the lines link, but I do feel like time travel and I feel like teleportation is going to be a big part, because it was a big part in the origin of the whole program. So yeah, what do you guys think of this conspiracy? I've probably butchered it. And I apologise. I tried my best. This is no joke. The reason I got this tinfoil hat on, this has honestly fried my mind. I've read the articles, watched the videos over and over and over and over. And to be honest, I still don't get it. I still don't fully get it. Like, if you have a better understanding of the Montauk Project, please let me know down below. If you don't, and I've done a terrible job, let me know. If you love Stranger Things, just let me know. I tried my best, guys. I feel like, you know, I love doing conspiracies on this. I've got a new mini-series with Lozzie coming up about conspiracy theories. And I just wanted to do this, you know, because it links nicely into Stranger Things. And I thought it was fascinating. Like, this is actually the origin. But it is so convoluted. It is so messy. It's even got Nikola Tesla involved. Like, it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, what do you think about this, guys? By the way, I'm downstairs in my living room because, well, Britain actually have a summer this year, and upstairs is just way, 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 way too hot. So I set my computer up down here so that I could edit down here, and I thought, you know what, I'm not even going to film upstairs today because it's so hot. So different room, different vibe, but I hope that you enjoyed nonetheless. But yeah, this is crazy. This conspiracy is crazy. But I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know. If you want me to cover anything else, let me know down below. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you very soon. If you want to support me, all the links are down below. Patreon, you can support me for £1, and I do Patreon exclusive videos. If you want to go over there, that'd be really cool, but you don't have to. The main thing is subscribe, because hopefully this video will get me over 100k, because as of recording this, I've got about 80 subscribers to go. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, so thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you very soon. Sweet one. Goose.